Hi again, it's Robert from allbellspalsy.info. Now today on this series about protecting your eyes I want us to look at eyelid weights. Now by eyelid weights I don't mean eyelid weight training where you're going to end up with a whopping pair of muscular eyelids. These are purely something that can be applied to your eyelid that can help it to close and therefore aid in the protection of your eye whilst you have Bell's palsy. They basically work on the principle of gravity. You can't presently close your eyelid using the muscle that's meant to enable you to close it. Therefore, by adding some weight, either on or in, as you'll see in a moment, to the base of your eyelid, the top eyelid I'm talking about, using gravity, it just enables it to close. So, as if by Hollywood again, as we'll see from these pictures, there are two types of eyelid weights, external ones or internal ones. Now, they're both temporary, but the temporary external eyelid weights, as you can see here, are literally stuck onto the outside of the bottom of your upper eyelid. And I'm glad I've got a picture there now, because that sounds more complicated than it is. It's literally to add weight to that top eyelid, so as it's easier for it to actually close. They're often taped to the outside of your eyelid, and you can even get them in different skin shades, so they can become pretty unnoticeable. Now the second type are the internal eyelid weights. As you can see from this picture, they're quite different. These are more permanent. These in the picture are gold weights, you can also get them in platinum, and they're actually sewn into the eyelid. Now this isn't as horrific as that actually sounds, and it is a very simple procedure. They're not at all obvious to the onlooker, that's one advantage of them, and they are quite successful in doing the job that they're in there for. And they're very, very easily removed too. I'm saying this, obviously you don't put these in yourself, for goodness sake. This is a job for a professional who's used to doing these things. Your optician would be able to advise you more as to who would do that for you. Now the problem with either of these is that at night the weights are no use whatsoever, because gravity moves downwards. Once you're lying on your back, gravity is no longer working on your eyelids. One solution to this is for you to sleep in a more upright position, therefore allowing the gravity obviously to still work in the same way. Now, don't worry if this isn't your cup of tea. To be honest, it wasn't mine. If, like most people, you have the Bell's phenomenon, which is, I've done another video on this by the way, cunningly entitled Bell's Palsy - Bell's Phenomenon, that's where you will notice, or your friends will notice, you can't notice it yourself, that when you try and close your eye, your eyeball will be seen to roll upwards behind the eyelid that isn't moving. So watch the video, it's much better explained there, or at least I hope so, because that didn't sound very good. But it's a very clever mechanism for protecting the eyeball, which is what we're trying to do. When you're asleep, that's happening. You're trying to close automatically your eyes, they're not closing, or on the affected side it's not closing the eyelid, but your eyeball has rolled up. So the part of your eye that actually sees has gone behind your eyelid. So you'll think your eyelid's shut. Watch the video on artificial tears for using those during the day, and on the gels that you can use at night. Because you'll still have part of the eyeball surface, the cornea, that won't be covered at all, and it'll get very, very dry and it's possible to damage it. So watch those videos. Right, I hope that's been of some help. As I always say, please go and visit the site allbellspalsy.info. There's a link in the description below. Please buy the Bell's Palsy Guide ebook. That helps us to keep going and to keep growing, providing these sorts of videos. I wish you, as always, a speedy and complete recovery. And until then, take care.